with our thoughts on episode 6 of the Imagineering Story. We've reached the last episode in this little series. I feel you could have done a lot more. I just think it's gone very, very, very quick. A lot was covered, a lot wasn't covered. But yeah, I really have loved this series, and I hopefully, for those of you who haven't already got an appreciation of the work Imagineering does, hopefully it will have made you appreciate it even more. So, this by episode, To Infinity and Beyond. Where have we heard that before? The topics on this obviously range from the groundbreaking of Shanghai Disneyland, which of course is the most recent resort to open in back in 2016. So a good lot. So I think this episode is split into two halves. First half coming on Shanghai. Second half covered on some of the most groundbreaking things that have been done for the two American parks. We didn't really get a look at some of the upcoming projects. It was because with the title, I thought, okay, maybe it's gonna. Once we've done Shanghai bit, it's gonna probably give you a little insight what's coming new, but it didn't. It really just covered what was already made and how the groundbreaking of it. So yeah, so I think I like to focus more on the Shanghai stuff first, because I think of that, I think I was more impressed with that than I was with the American stuff. With the Shanghai stuff, you know, I'm probably never ever gonna go to Shanghai. I just thought a lot of it was real fascinating, and I was quite intrigued to hear that with Shanghai Disneyland they made it so unique. It wasn't just like a replication of one of the American parks. They made it its own. They made it very. They wanted to make sure they had that Chinese culture embedded in the park, and I think it was quite interesting how they changed sort of the land. So they didn't have which I think it was Tomorrowland. It didn't, was it? Nope. Which land was it? Oh my god, I can't remember which land it was. But they had one of the traditional lands that you would see in most of the parks in other resorts. They didn't have in Shanghai. Oh my god, I can't remember which one it was. Oh, Main Street. They didn't have no, they didn't have Main Street. There you go. That was it. They didn't have Main Street. They didn't have a Tomorrowland. Got confused there. No. And instead they had Gardens of Imagination, which is what we saw most of the coverage from. How it was made the hub of the park, and so it featured 7.4.5 hectares, so 11 acres. Chinese gardens with each of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac, represented by Disney characters. And I actually loved seeing those mosaics being made, and I think they soon did all of them. Because I think it was my year. It was Remy was on. I thought, oh my god, that looks absolutely gorgeous. I do know my Chinese zodiac, by the way. Mine is the year of the rat. Yeah, so I thought that was a stunningly gorgeous one. So they've incorporated the Chinese zodiac in there. I'm just thinking, this is what I really should see from all 6 Disney resorts, and that is the culture of the city, the country that you are putting a Disney resort in. I feel you should have immersed some of that culture into the park, and that's what we lack. I think definitely in Paris we lack that. But yeah, so it's absolutely stunning, amazing. So I just loved seeing those mates. I thought, oh my god, those look absolutely gorgeous. And what they did on was my year. Here's a rat, and just thought that absolutely looked stunning. And I think Pluto's in Waldom too. I think he is supposed to be able to hear the dog as Waldom, so I think he was there too. So that's great, yay! So yeah, so I think it was just so fascinating. Seeing the groundwork being made in, and the Imagineers really thinking through what they wanted to do with the park. Look at that castle. Oh my god. It's one of the most biggest castles, I think, of all 6 parks. absolutely massive. And just seeing it being made together, and also just seeing how there was one of it where they were keeping on the detail, so I think you could still tell every little bit of detail was well thought through. It wasn't like, well, you just chucking sand on a bit of gravel. They really focused on all the detail. It was just, I thought it was absolutely amazing. So they really got into design. And so I was really sort of honed in. And I did sort of like how they did that press release with the big announcement in Chinese. I thought that was quite good. I'm not sure how I felt about Bob Iger taking Walt's speech and trying to change bits of it to fit Shanghai. It's like, no, get your own speech. Ugh. He must have thought it was a good idea at the time, but I'm just thinking, no, not really. Because they played it, bits of the Shanghai speech, opening day speech, and the bits of the Disneyland opening day speech together. I was like, this is quite similar. But you still change a bit. It's like, no, make your own, do your own. Yeah. So I was really actually quite fascinated by all this bit. Even though I thought, yeah, to Disneyland I'm never going to go. Because I don't really see myself going to any of the Asian ones. So, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Tokyo. I don't really see myself going to those. But I thought it was just quite fascinating. Particularly with the, how they didn't want to replicate the classics to put into their park. They wanted to do something different. And if they were going to have a classic track, so they didn't have to have the classics such as there's no railroad, no Main Street USA, it had no It's a Small World. I know, a couple of it, no, none of that. And if they had put any classics in, they had to be involved. And one of those was Pirates of the Caribbean. And I think in the documentary, while the Imagineers got interviewed, absolutely captured my thoughts on Pirates of the Caribbean, because I've done it at least once. And he in the programme said, oh, with Pirates of the Caribbean, it's quite slow, and it's quite boring. I was like, hit it on the head. Because when I did Pirates of the Caribbean, I thought, okay, this is really, really quite slow. I'm like, what is going? And I'm also like, I didn't really get what the story behind Pirates of the Caribbean was. I was like, am I supposed to be immersed into this, or am I supposed to be a spectator to this? Because if you're in a Disney park, you don't want to be considered as a spectator. You want to be thrown into it. You want to be thrown into the deep end. You want to be immersed in all these different worlds. So, for example, I'll use Paris, because that is my park. I'll use Paris. So if you go to Tomorrowland, you will be immersed into some of the attractions like Hyperspace Mountain or Star Tours or Buzz Light Laser Blaster. If you go into Fantasyland, you will be immersed into Casey Jr., It's a Small World. If you go into Frontierland, you will be immersed in Thunder Mesa River, Big Thunder Mountain. Whichever land you go to, in whichever Disney resort, you will be immersed in that land, and especially on that attraction you're going to be on. With Pirates, you don't really get that. You just basically sit on the boat, you chug along, for what feels like for days. It really does. Oh god, it feels like you're on there for eternity. You just sit there, just watch God, and I just don't get the story. So what I loved is how the programme, we saw how, with Shanghai, they took Pirates of the Caribbean, and they made it their own. They made it immersive. They made it colourful. They made it connect with the guests, and that we will be gone as well. And also, they brought it up to the 21st century, and I just thought, wow, that is, innovative genius. Taking a classic ride that's been known for years and years, and making it your own. That is absolutely just stunning. Another area of the Shanghai that I thought was quite exciting was with their Tomorrowland, and how they thought, right, do we go safe and put Space Mountain in? Because we know Space Mountain worked. Do we go safe, or do we go Tron? I love that. Although Space Mountain isn't really round anymore, is it? Because it's all hyperspace mountain, isn't it? I think everybody now has got a hyperspace mountain, not a space mountain. Is there any space mountains left? I don't know. But I just love how they thought, should we go safe and do space with Tomorrowland to get a feature attraction? Should we go safe and pick Space Mountain, or should we just go Tron? I love how I then went. We went Tron. Oh, because I did like Tron Legacy. So yeah, and even though sadly, let me look at the attractions just to what it's called. It was Tron something. I don't know. Tron Light Cycle Power On. I thought, if only this wasn't a roller coaster, because I might have been tempted. I thought the Kursky is when you go when they took you inside constructing the attraction. I thought, wow, those Kurskys actually look amazing. You know, it gives you a spectre. It gives you a spectacle to look at. And you're just looking at some construction work or a building. You actually feel like you've been immersed into the world these attractions are based on. So again, as I was talking about Amazing Point earlier. And it's about the colours was just so amazing. They were so vibrant. Cool. They were quite cool and calming, really. They were kind of those blues and yellows, which you would sort of more calming colours, which gives you that sense of tranquility and sort of ease. Because in the back of your mind, you know you're about to go on a roller coaster. When you go to this ride, you know in the back of your mind, okay, I'm about to step on a roller coaster. But looking at those colours, it kind of sort of cools you down a bit before you have to do the and all that stuff that comes with it being on a roller coaster. I think the ride vehicles looked absolutely amazing too. I mean, they were really well designed to what it's like in the film, which of course is your very own light cycle. One of the things actually do as you speed through makes the colour of your cycle. Because that's what they did in the film. Whenever the light cycle would move, behind it you would see on the road the light colour. So one of it does that. No, but I think it looks very futuristic. It feels like this ride. It feels like something that really should be in the future. This feels like it's 20, at least 20, maybe 30 years ahead of its time. It just, it's one of those attractions where I would look at it and think, oh, if only I could have, that was around when I was a kid. But no, it's actually right here, right now. Because I look at the design, look at the detail, look at the ride vehicles, I look at the design to it, and I think, that attraction is 30 years ahead of its time. And yet, here they are, the Imagineers, they got down and they made it, and it's absolutely stunning. It just shows the magic that they can do when they put the mind together. So I just love how all the Shanghai segments, how we just saw how they thought really hard about what they were to do with the line and focus on the detail. Because when you're building a massive ride like this, you've got to make sure it's done right. As did it right. So I was quite amazed how with the Shanghai segment, I was actually really quite immersed in it. I was like, oh yeah, it's real intriguing. Oh, that looks amazing. And then the rest of the episode was focusing on groundbreaking projects that technically are already now open. So Pandora, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, Star Wars Galaxy Edge, and those segments, I was basically like this. I was kind of like, well, sort of asleep, but my eyes are still open. And I'm still looking at the screen, and I'm still seeing what's on the screen. But I'm just sort of not really. I'm sort of like half zombie. Not really moving. I'm just standing by the screen. So it's looking like I'm about to nod off, but I'm not really nodding off. I think he hadn't made like a loud noise, that probably would jolt me on my seat like that. Because a lot of the stuff they talk about in the second half of the show just sort of passed me by. It was a bit like, hmm? There's, I think, far too much technological aspects being run into it. And you know me, I'm not a techie, I'm a performer. Don't come to me with your technological stuff because I don't want to hear about it. I won't even understand it. But yeah, and a lot of it I couldn't really get into because I've never seen Avatar. Now, a lot of you who do like Avatar are going to hate me for this, but I just think Avatar is basically just a bit stupid with just weird blue creatures. That's what I think. But I was aware that in Florida there is a land dedicated to Pandora, and I was thinking, because they said the program, when they were thinking about Pandora, they wanted to make it like it was real. So they wanted it to feel like you were in the outdoors and these were real. And I just thought, how much budget have you blown on that? Because when you watch the program, you see all you've been done together, you think, yeah, there's no way you could make that real. No way. The amount of work going to need to build on that, and the amount of US dollars alone you would have to pay or to spend on to get this done, you're gonna bankrupt yourselves. That's what I was thinking. But of course, here we are, proven wrong. In fact, let's look when did Pandora open. Here we go. It's opened on May 2017. So it opened in 2017. So it's just 4 years ago now. But no, they did it. But just for all that, I just don't really. I'm just like not really into this whatsoever, really. But I'm sure there are lots of Avatar fans out there were intrigued, and that's all that matters, isn't it? Okay, should we go on to the Galaxy? No, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Now, for those of you not aware of what this attraction is, this is basically the re-theming of DCA's Tower of Terror. And I remember when I was in California and I did see the Tower of Terror, I thought, oh my god, what have you done? It's like you've cannibalized Tower of Terror. Because I'm just trying to find an image to help me describe it. So you have to bear with me 1 sec. Yeah, they're not really clear. On Google. But the fast scale, the outside, it's still got the Tower of Terror there. But you've got all these weird little sort of tubes and wires coming out, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? You know, what's going on? It just did not look right. And even the Imagineers on the program talk about how it did not really good. Because they're like how, with Tower of Terror, it does one thing. It goes up, and it goes down. We can't change it, but what we can do is we can reprogram it. And I'm like, oh great, more techie stuff. Bye! You know? And we saw how they incorporated some of the characters from Guardians of the Galaxy in. But yeah. So, and that's been going for a little bit now. Let's look up. It was definitely pre-2018 because I was in California in February of 2018. So it might have been the same time as Pandora. It might have been earlier. Let's have a look. So oh yes, it was! I was right! Same time as Pandora. May 2017. And basically, it's just basically a retheming of the Tower of Terror. So if you go if you go to DCA, it's called Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. And the idea behind this is it's supposed to serve as the opening piece to what's going to be DCA's version of Avengers Campus, because we know that's going to be coming in quite a few parks. It's going to come to DCA. It's going to come to Walt Disney World. Yeah, it is Walt Disney World, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is. Oh, no, sorry. Nope, got it wrong. Not Walt Disney World. No. It's because I'm not a Marvel there, so you can't. Sorry about Paris. Right, sorry. Listen again. It's going to come to DCA, California. It's going to come to Hong Kong, and of course, it's going to come to Paris next year. I think DCA is already now open. Paris is, I know, is going to be summer next year, and I don't know when Hong Kong's going to be, because as we just saw there, I forgot it was Hong Kong. I thought it was going to be Florida. Because it would make sense, wouldn't it? It would make sense. If both American parks have got Galaxy's Edge, it would sort of make sense to give both American ones Avengers Campus, but apparently not. Okay, so we'll carry on with that. But yeah. So that's basically what it is. It's like the opening set piece to what's going to be ultimately DCA's Avengers Campus. And yeah, it looks a bit intriguing to see how they resume a classic attraction. But yeah, if you go to DCA, you will spot it. You hear that bus going out, so it just goes. You'll be like me. You'll go, what's this mess? What on earth is that? Right. Now the fire vehicle was indeed Galaxy's Edge. Now let's open it up first to make sure I can definitely remember who has and who has not got it. Although I think I hate Star Wars more than I hate Marvel. I find Star Wars boring. I know I'm offending a lot of people now, but I don't give a damn because it's my show, my rules. Right, so Galaxy's Edge is currently in both American parks, and they both opened in the same year, just a couple of months apart. California got it first in May of 2019, whilst Florida had to wait until August 2019. So they both got the same year, just in different months, but actually not too far from each other. Both openings were sort of tied to what was the final of the Skywalker films. I was barely tempted to say final Star Wars films, but chances are that's probably not going to happen, is it? No. More the pity. And when I was watching this part of the show, I was thinking, no way could I see this come to Paris. Because as part of Paris' Walt Disney Studios expansion, or WDS2 as we refer to it, the initial announcement was we were going to have a Marvel Land, Frozen Land, and a Star Wars Land. But as I watched this part of the show, I was thinking, no way can I see that coming to Paris in, say, well, it was supposed to be 2025, but as we all know, COVID. Yep. Sodding COVID. Delayed everything. So obviously it set the entire expansion back, because obviously Avengers Campus was supposed to be in Paris 2021, this year. Frozen was going to be 2023, Star Wars was going to be 2025, but of course that's all now gone out the window. And it's basically whenever it's ready now. So, I'm just thinking, no way could this Paris get into this in what could now probably be maybe, don't hold me to this, possibly 2027, 2028, 2029 at the latest. So by the end of the decade, before we go to 2030 at least, because it just looks all very high tech, very high cosmos, and stuff that really should be even further down the line than Tron. So if Tron was kind of 30 years ahead of its time, Galaxy's Edge, in the American parks, is kind of more 50 years ahead of its time. So still within the parameters of my lifetime. Just about. But yeah, so, because you watch the program, you think, I do not get a single bit of this whatsoever. I'm just like, what's this? What's happening? It's just, I mean, I get the concept. I get what they were trying to do. And I do love how they did think of storylines to go with their attractions. But I'm just watching that and thinking, that is far too high tech. You know? First, we all know Americans, they like to go big, they like to go bold, they like to go pricey! Americans don't save, they just splash with their cash. Oh no! Shit, that rhymed! And I hate rhyming! I'm shit at it. But the Americans, they're flashy. They're flashy with their cash. They're not like us Brits, you know. We just feel the urge to save and put it all in trust funds or give it to charity. You know, we Brits, we save our money. Whereas Americans just basically, look at my wonder! Don't! That's not a euphemism. That's not a euphemism. But they're more like, look at my wonder! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at all this money! I'm just gonna spend it all on the casinos. Or is that just the barda? Oh. But no, yeah, I just think that just looks too pricey. It's just too flashy, too techy, too pricey. Nowhere near with Paris. I don't even know what's going to happen with Paris in Star Wars Land. I don't even know we're still going to get one. Because with Land 3, we definitely know we're getting Marble Land next year. That's phase 1. We definitely know we're going to have Frozen Land. That's phase 2. But what phase 3 is now going to be is kind of up in the air. Because there hasn't really been much word on it for quite some time. If it is still going to be a Star Wars Land, I don't think it's going to be anywhere big and bold and flashy as you have seen in the Imagineering Story for the American ones. I think it probably would be more downsized, so maybe a bit smaller, and probably not as flashy attractions as you would expect to see there in America. But America is big and bold, they've got the space for it, whereas here in Europe, we just about mad as we can. Yeah, so this Byron episode was kind of like two halves. First half, great. Lots of Shanghai stuff. Maybe we could have done a little bit more on Shanghai. Second half wasn't really for me. I was just like, well, I was struggling to keep my eyes open. I was like this. It's like, you know when you feel like you're about to fall asleep, you don't want to fall asleep. You got to try and sort of shoot yourself to wake up like that. That's what I was trying to do. I actually would have loved if they just maybe give you a little snippet of what is possibly in the pipelines for all parks going in the future. You know, to give you a little tease to maybe make them want to go in the future. But yeah, I think I really have loved this series. I think it's been absolutely stunning. There's been some great moments, but not been some great moments. I think it's been absolutely stunning, and I've loved how it gives you a big backstage opportunity to see what goes on behind the making of these parks and attractions. I mean, it's absolutely stunning and amazing. I still feel there's a lot more could have been covered, but I think overall it was quite good, quite good. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you've loved today's video, then why do you click the like button? And you know already subscribed to Charlie X, click the subscribe button as well, because once you have done that, you are subscribed and you never miss a single one when new content comes on the channel. And you can also find us on social platforms, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, all my concessions. Well, until the next time, all that's left for me to say is au revoir. Well, thank you for joining us for another amazing video. To see more, check out our most recent upload here, or why not check out that featured playlist. And don't forget to subscribe. What are you waiting for? I highly recommend it.